give this one more try. There we go. Oh, you can't really see me. Hold on, brother. We got this. All right, we'll just do YouTube and X. Okay. You see me okay, right?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. All right, everybody. It's the first time this guy's on the show. So let's get to it. You ready? All right,
Yes, sir.
everybody. Welcome to Slap Son. We got the man in the building. The debut of death. You feel me? Destruction all over the stage. No one expected it. They say, who is this guy? He's so big, but can he slap? Oh, he can slap. He slaps so hard that the people in the building that weren't allowed to record and share it, oh, they recorded and they shared it. You feel me? You guys, this guy's a tower of power. I saw him looking at me with a cigar. He's so cool. Give it up for Aaron Turner. Boy, I'm so glad you're here. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
Hey, Joe, how's it going, man? Glad to be on.
Dude, thank you so much, man. I gotta it's so funny. I was late to the card, running a little late with the kids and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I didn't see your match, but my phone's lighting up, social media's lighting up. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And so I watch it, obviously, and I'm like, whoa, like that just happened. Did you have any idea the ripple effect of what you achieved on Friday?
I know a lot of people were kind of just a little bit doubtful of an outsider kind of coming in that honestly had no business, in a business like that. But, being matched against, the number 4 ranked heavyweight, I know I had to come in with some baggage. I had the size, like you said, I had the height, looked like the strength a little bit. So it all came together on Friday and I was just ready to perform. So the outcome of it, wasn't, that's too crazy is what I thought, but I'm grateful that it's starting to pick up a little bit. And, guys in the division are starting to realize, I get a little bit more respect. So I appreciate all I could, and I'm also grateful for the opportunity that Power Slap was able to give me as well.
Yeah, man, definitely. The heavyweight division and the super heavyweight. So the heavier guys, right, in the sport, you can really make some noise and get some attention
Hmm.
pretty quick, pretty immediately. When your fight was over, did Frank or Dana or Erica, like, I'm sure they congratulated you, but did they give you any hint as to, hey, man, we could do something with you?
Yeah, they started to have a lot of buzz happen right after my match. Actually, that's when I started to notice my phone was blowing up. The posts, on Instagram from Power Slap, the text messages, from Frank and Erica. Then obviously, where I met you at the after party, at the venue, and bumping into Dana White, and like, things like that happen where Dana White comes up to you and tells you had a great match. That's very uncommon, and that's a dream come true. So that's when it all hit me a little bit.
Is it is it something you expected was going to go down, or was, you know what? Actually, before we get to that, how much notice did you have for the match?
I was very well noticed of who my opponent was, and I got more of a deep dive of a background on Brian Ellis than he did on me. Again, I'm an outsider. It's my first ever match for him. He's a well respected athlete, one of the hardest strikers, in the heavyweight division, and I know he's had some in the super heavyweight as well. So I knew this was not going to be easy whatsoever. But I feel like I come in with a lot of baggage, and it really showed on Friday night.
Yeah, it absolutely did, man. I mean, and that's a good take too. That's a good angle. Actually, maybe he was on the receiving end of something he wasn't expecting, right? Because there really is no footage of you doing like literally this sport. Um,
Right.
talk to me. Obviously, went on your IG, did the Google search thing, all that kind of stuff, bro. Um, football, your football career. How'd you get started? And you obviously made it to. I mean, you had some serious success. Let's talk through that, and then when we're done with that, man, talk about how you actually found Slap. Because everybody, I've had people talk how they fill out an application and they're just on their couch. Next thing, they're flying to Vegas. I've had people say that they were in other leagues and that's how they found it. But let's kind of talk about your athletic story, bro.
So grew up in the Portland, Oregon area. Played football my life since the age of 6, actually. Um, was, grateful to have a career in college, had school paid for and everything. I went the Division II route, was successful there, got
Western
some
Oregon,
accolades.
right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Division II, Western Oregon, has some accolades over there, some personal awards as well. Biggest team achievement, at the end of my senior year, got our first ever conference championship, which was a big accomplishment in our school history. So I'm grateful to be able to a year on a note like that, and went through the process of the NFL career, going to a couple of professional leagues, had some time in those, and then eventually got to the point where I wanted to settle. I wanted to, be somewhere where I could settle, not always travel around all these places, whether if it was getting cut or just not ready for the opportunity. So came back home, started working a little bit, started getting into mixed martial arts a little bit. I go to American Top Team, do a little bit of boxing and a little bit of MMA. So Power Slap was definitely something that kind of came to me, social media and just, seeing some of these things, you first off, you got to be a crazy motherfucker to do stuff like this, man. But it's honestly at the end of the day, it's the thrill, man. It's the having to compete, and I'm always the guy that will compete in anything, no matter how big of an advantage I might have, whether if I'm going to be the big dog or so honestly, when it came in, it was an application, and just through a feeling, man. It was on competition or anything that's come my way. So I signed an application. Next thing you know, got signed up and got talked to by Erica, and was just like, hey, you can go to Abu Dhabi or you can do Las Vegas. And I thought Las Vegas was the perfect way to go, because when you go to Vegas, most people go to Vegas to lose. But, for me, I came out, a big winner. So, Vegas I thought would be the perfect site to, get started and start the career. So that's what I did.
Wow, man, that's amazing, man. And I think you really are blazing that path of college athletes that find the sport. We've heard Dana talk about it, and a few others, where the sport is what it is now, but all these athletes like yourself are like, hey, this is another avenue to be a professional in something that's just out of this world, right? And
Hmm.
I commend you that for that, because someone's got to start it. You know what I mean? Someone's got to pave the way, and like you're definitely doing
Right.
that in a big fucking way. Um, so they offered you Abu Dhabi as well. Was it also Brian Ellis then, or no?
At the time, my opponent was unknown, unfounded, or anything. So I got more of the facts, where I was just like, I think Las Vegas would be a good time for me, a time for me to, kind of get in a little more athletic shape a little bit, and, kind of feel like I can stick my weight, at the heavyweight division. I don't know, at the time I might have been a little bit more heavier. I might have been in the heavyweight card. So I wanted to give myself, a little bit of time to be prepared. So I was lucky enough to choose Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And to go up against somebody who, has that stature in the sport, and to do it the way you did, you did go to Vegas to win. You didn't go to lose at all, my guy.
Mm-mm, absolutely not.
So I have to. It was funny at the after party. Everybody, the I keep glancing over at Aaron, and he's got this cigar in his mouth. He's obviously like towering over everybody, and you could just tell that, like, I mean, to me, bro, to me, it was like you had this countenance of like, yeah, I did it. I came to
Hmm.
Vegas and I did it.
Hmm.
And then eventually he came over, we dapped it up, and it was just such a cool moment. Like for me as a fan, it was just a cool moment because the sport is growing so fast, and it really is just kind of this lightning bolt. I mean, you can have a day's notice, you can have your opponent switch, you can train all you want, and then in literally in a half a second, all that training's out the window and you're stumbling. Or on the opposite end, like yourself, it's big. Do you feel the moment when it's over, man? Like you're walking around the after party, all that stuff. Do you really feel what's going on? Or are you just thinking this is great, this is nuts?
The after effect is nothing that I really think about, like especially, after a performance like that, against a very tough individual like Brian Ellis, a main card guy. When you're a complete undercard and nobody knows who you are, and then next thing you know, you're on an after party with, some content creators, some celebrities, and they're coming up to you. That is a rare, rare feeling, because most of the time you're coming up to them like saying, "Hey, I love your work and everything." So when we met, like obviously, it was definitely good to meet Joe. Like I felt we had a huge connection, of course, of just like this is crazy. Like this is actually happening. So I was feeling the same way you did. Talking with everybody, and especially it definitely hit me when you have a guy like Dana White, who has built the UFC, who has built Power Slap, comes up to you and shakes hands with you, and just it's a humbling experience. So for me, it definitely was just like a wow, I can't believe this. So.
Yeah, I completely agree. The first event I went to, so I don't know if we're still pretty new in the sport. I went with one of my boys to PS8. So the last time it was in Vegas, and had no idea that there was an after party and all this stuff and on and on. And we started this podcast, and here we are in December. Holy shit, man! Like it's been so fun. It's been so fast. We've learned so much. And then the same after party you went to, that was our first one as well. And you're right to see all the content creators and all that. But the moment for you was, probably not as personal, obviously. Like I'm not getting slapped across the face, next to a podium, but it is a validating moment, right? Like you're in that room, and then Dana White's coming out, and I just happened to get a video, and I just said, "Hey, we do Slap Son," and of course, he just is like smiling and keeps moving. But um, it's those moments, right, where you're like, "Hey, I'm in something," like I'm competing, and I'm a part of the fastest growing sport in the world, and you have those moments to validate it. And I'm curious, going forward, since you did the death, right? And you didn't receive the death. Um, you can be turned around pretty quick. So to validate all this stuff, even greater, are you looking to get on the very next card? Are you looking to get on the next one in March? Do you know what I mean? Do you want a fast turnaround?
Yeah, absolutely. And how the result ended, it was actually a second round TKO. So I did receive a bit of a slap from Brian Ellis, but going
Sure,
forward,
sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to being on the next card. Whoever it is, I don't care who it is. It could be anytime, anywhere. It could be tomorrow. It could be tonight. It doesn't matter to me. I'll take on anybody in my division, and I respect everybody in our division. But when it comes down to it, I'm here to win just like anybody else. So I'll take on anybody.
Dude, I love that. And do you think your size, particularly the height, I really am curious. Is it an advantage to probably most of your career being able to not strike so, straight or at an up angle? You're actually kind of going down on them. Do you think that brings more impact?
I believe it could. Like, I grew up in a way where it's like, when you're the biggest guy in the room, for me, it's like you always have to be the strongest. You always got to be the fastest. So, looks can always be deceiving. There's a lot of guys in this division, that are built very well and can slap hard, and there's also guys that aren't as built, but they have a killer strike. You see our champion Damien the Bell. I mean, like, he's just a mastermind. He's smart. He trains. He's very well knowledgeable, and that is scary for most guys that don't take account for that. So I gotta commend him for all of his hard work for being champion, because I know he's been champion for a long time. As much as I'd love to take that belt, I got a long ways to go. But when it comes to it, I know that he's a mastermind at this. He's done it for a long time, and he's so young is the thing. He's 22 years old, and the other crazy part about it is he wants to be a lawyer. So I mean, to have that guy as your attorney, that's just wild. But I think for most guys, I think it's just what you use in the sport, what you use with your body, and I think that's honestly the advantage you can have against anybody like me. So I mean, just I just use what I have, what God's gift has given me, and I'm gonna continue to use it for as long as I can. So it's honestly just it's mental. It's just how you use your body, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's true because, talking with all the strikers, some that come from MMA, various sports backgrounds, but particularly like fighting background, it really is just you're trained one way your whole career, and then you come into slap, and it is what you're saying. Like you just there's no way to prepare until you go through it that first time, and then you're like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, I got this. Um, how many fights away, or is it even in your near future? Do you think for fighting for that contender spot or fighting for the actual belt?
I think if I just continue a performance like what I had against Brian Ellis, again, just another top tier main card fighter, that I hope that it takes me a couple fights to move my way up the ranking. But of course, there's a whole list of guys that I have to go through, and I well respect all those guys that I have to go through every single one of them because they're also hungry on the other end for a title shot. Some guys have done this for over a year. I've only did this about a week ago, so I have a
What?
way. I
Wait. You know what that reminds me of? I talked to Chelsea Dodson, and she
mhm,
she just casually said, "Yeah, the first time I slap, I'm going to be on stage with Paige Van Zandt." And I was like, "Whoa!" So wait,
mhm.
Aaron, were you really like just been doing this like a week, and they called you, and you're like, I'm here."
They called me about a month ago, and I've always stayed in shape, like lifting and stuff like that. But when it came to slapping, the technique, I've done it for like a week and a half, to be honest with you. So
That's
now that
nuts, dude, bro.
yeah,
That's crazy, bro.
yeah, and like I said, I always had the strength, always had the power, but with Coach Rob, and we had the Crazy Hawaiian. We kind of met during the week about a coach's switch and stuff like that. They just critiqued me on my technique and everything, but they saw the power and strength and put that all together. And honestly, when you saw from that slap, like it created some damage. So you can only imagine with more training and just time to get on the card what I can do, but I also know there's a bunch of guys that have done this who are, just as hungry and guys that have been training as well. So I'm willing to take on anybody, no matter how many matches it takes, and to earn that opportunity. Like I do want a title contention, and I believe that I am deserving of one once I get through, a couple more matches.
Yeah, with such little training, and you've got the right coaches, right? Both those guys are, they got the science going on for sure. Um, do you do you feel like you're kind of natural at this? Is that a weird thing to say in the slap game? But do you feel like you're a natural striker?
I want to say yes, but I've only gone through one match, and for me, the thing I could say about it is it wasn't another guy that hasn't done this before. I got to do this against, a guy that has done this before and is very well respected. Again, the number four heavyweight. Not many people can just come off the street and be like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and face this guy because Brian Ellis is made to put guys down. And I firmly believe that I'm also made to put guys down, but I have to earn my respect through these heavyweights. And that means if I have to take on every single one of them, then that's what it takes.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, hey, so much love to you, man. What a way to debut. I was telling you, when we spoke last night, it really reminded me of like Wes Mena. Similar
Mm-hmm.
situation in the sense of he made the people watch him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what you did. You made the people watch you, and that's only gonna catapult you and level you up for the next card. I firmly believe that, of course. And you're not really hurt, so we could see you, really soon, which would be amazing. But Aaron, man, thank you so much, bro. Thank you for coming on.
Hey,
We're big fans. I was there with my boys. Next time we're gonna see you live, 100%, not just on the replay. And before we let you go, I just want to ask: now that you've done it, now that it's over, you've made some waves. Um, do you feel finally relaxed a little bit? Are you still kind of amped up?
oh, brother, I am amped up. Once you start a wave, you don't stop.
Oh no,
You know.
did we lose you?
No, sorry about that. I had a stupid call. It was from a number I've never seen before. But
Oh, those bastards interrupt you talking.
to answer, no, answer that question for I'm just ready and I'm excited. Now that I get time to get more training and I'm just going to be ready for that call whenever. I've been a professional before, and for this, like you just got to stay ready. So I can always stay ready, and I'm not worried a bit.
Dude, I think that's a perfect way to end it, man. Thank you again for coming on, and let's let this thing upload. And so just hang out for a sec.
Right. Sounds good.